Hey, thank you very much for tuning in. If you are watching this, hopefully you've already watched our full episode where we break down Inglourious Basterds and the song Cat People by David Bowie and Giorgio Moroder. If you haven't, go over to our page and watch that full episode. While we were doing research on Inglourious Basterds and having discussions about what we wanted to talk about, we went a million different directions. For the most part, we agreed with most of the points that each other had, but there was one point that we emphatically did not agree on, and that is whether or not Landa knew Shosanna was Shosanna when they met in the restaurant in chapter 3.
Right.
Chris is going to argue that Landa did know. I'm going to argue that he did not know. We each are going to have 1 minute on the clock, 1 minute exactly. If you can't fit your point in under a minute, we don't care. It's stricken from the record. So Chris is going to go first. He's going to give us his point of why Landa does know that it is Shosanna, and Chris will be starting in 3, 2, 1,
point down. All right, here we go. So right off the top, he orders her milk to drink. He orders all her food, starting with milk, which he drank a glass of their delicious milk at the La Petite Farm. Number 2, he orders her strudel with creme on the top. Strudel at the time would have been made with pork lard, which is not kosher. So it would have been an extra little dig at her to make her, a Jewish person, eat something not kosher right in front of her. He toys with her right after this. Wait for the creme, right? And then he proceeds to not finish his dessert at all, puts out a cigarette into the creme, which means he does not smoke a pipe like he smoked at the beginning. He smokes cigarettes, so he was contrived the entire time in the beginning, just like he's contrived always. And finally, in chapter 1, when Shosanna runs away, he shouts, "Au revoir, Shosanna!" Au revoir literally translates to, "Until I see you again." He knows.
All right, perfect timing. Still wrong. So I'm going to put a minute on the clock. And I will be starting in 3, 2, 1, point down. In chapter 1, Landa does not see Shosanna's face. He only sees the back of her head as she's running away. But perhaps Landa already knew what the entire Dreyfus family looked like before he went to La Petite's farm. If he was as prolific as he claims and had seen hundreds of Jewish families, how likely was he to remember one face 3 years later? But if he doesn't remember her, why would he have ordered her milk and creme? Because Landa realizes any French woman living in Nazi-occupied France wouldn't be super excited about working with the Nazis. He's pulling the same weird power play tactic out of his bag of tricks that he used on La Petite in order to illustrate to her that he's in charge. Lastly, Shosanna's storyline is mostly influenced by the film Once Upon a Time in the West by Tarantino's favorite director, Sergio Leone. Both movies are about a quiet, mysterious protagonist going by an alias seeking revenge. The bad guy in each movie is a charismatic and polite hired hand of a large evil entity. Each bad guy murdered the protagonist's family years prior. In Once Upon a Time in the West, right before the main character kills the bad guy, he reveals his true identity, just like how Shosanna reveals her true identity right before she burns the cinema down.
Oh, 2 seconds, 1 second. Oh, what a debate. So let us know down in the comments below. Who do you think won the debate? Does Hans Landa know? Does he not know? We want to hear from you guys. Check out full episodes on our YouTube page, and we'll see you next week.